Most agents don't lose listings because they lack knowledge. They lose listings because they fold under pressure. Seller says, "We want more. Drop your fees. We'll think about it." And that's it. They start rambling. They start defending. They stop leading, listing, boom, gone. I've been selling residential real estate since 2002. I've sold over 1,000 homes. And I can tell you, most agents are not losing at the start of the appointment. They lose in the last few minutes when the seller pushes back and they don't know how to respond. Well, in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how to handle the top 3 seller objections that cost agents listings every single week. First, let's clear something up. An objection is not rejection. An objection usually means the seller is engaged. They're thinking about it. They're trying to get certainty. That's it. And the reason so many agents struggle here is because they treat an objection like a threat. The seller says, "We think it's worth more." And the agent hears, "They don't trust me." The seller says, "Will you lower your commission?" And the agent hears, "I have to defend myself." The seller says, "We want to think about it." And the agent hears, "I lost it." That's the wrong mindset. Your job is not to win an argument. Your job is to lead a decision. So here's the simple framework. I want you to use every objection, acknowledging it calmly, validate their point of view, isolate the real issue, respond with logic and process, then ask for the business. That's structure. Now let's get into the 3 that matter most. Objection number 1, we think our home is worth more. This is a big one. This is where a lot of agents immediately lose control because they start fighting for their price. That's not the move. The second you argue too early, the seller stops hearing you. So here's exactly what I recommend. When the seller says, "We were thinking higher," do not cut them off. Let them finish. Pause for a second, then say, "I understand. Of course you want to make sure you're not leaving money on the table." That line matters because it lowers the temperature instantly. Then say, "If I were in your shoes, I'd want to push for the highest number possible." Now you've shown them that you're not resisting them. You're listening. Then ask them, "What's leading you to that number?" That question is critical because now you find out whether their price expectation is based on neighborhood sale, an online estimate, what they need to make for their next move, or what some other agent told them. And those are 4 completely different conversations that you need to understand. If they say, "Well, the house down the street sold for more," you can deal with that objection with the comps. If they say, "We need to get that number to buy the next house," now you know this is not a pricing issue, this is a planning issue. That one question saves you solving the wrong problem. Then you say this, "Here's how I suggest we handle it. If you want to test at a higher number, I'm okay with that. But we need to agree now what we'll do if the market rejects it." See, that's a strong line because it's collaborative, but it still shows leadership. Then lay out 3 outcomes. If we price it there, one of the 3 things is going to happen. 1, we get strong activity and offers. Great, the market supports it. Number 2, we get showings but no offers. That usually means the buyers see the home, but they don't see enough value at the price. Or number 3, we get little to no activity at all. That means the market is rejecting our price. Then bring up our formula. So I've shared this in other videos, my 21 or 12 rule. So my rule is simple. 21 days on the market or 12 qualified showings, whichever comes first. If the home hasn't sold by then, the market's speaking to us and we need to respond. This is tactical, it's specific, and the seller remembers specifics. Then say this, there are really only 3 reasons why a property doesn't sell: condition, location, and price. And out of those 3, price is the only one we can actually control. That's a powerful anchor because you can't change location. And in terms of condition, you've already had the property showing the absolute best. So spending money on something in hopes you're gonna get it back is not something we wanna try in this market. So now the seller understands this is not personal, it's a process. So here's a practical move I'd strongly recommend. Write this down in front of them on your notes, your CMA, or wherever you're working. Just physically write down 21 days or 12 qualified showings equals reviewing price. Then circle it. Now it feels like a shared agreement, not a future debate. Then close with this. So I'm okay with testing a higher number if that's what you want to do. I just want to align now on what happens if the market doesn't respond well to that. Does that sound fair to you? That's how you handle price pushback. Not by arguing, but by setting terms. Objection number 2, will you reduce your commission? This is where agents get exposed because a lot of agents act confident right up until money comes up. Then they get all awkward, or worse, they start negotiating against themselves. The second you do that, your leverage drops. So if a seller says, will you lower your commission, or another agent said they do it for less, you stay calm and say, that's a fair question. Then I'd say, if I were selling my own home, I'd want to understand exactly what I'm paying for. Again, calm, no tension. Now here's the tactical move. Before you defend your fee, ask this. Is your concern the fee itself, or is the real concern making sure you net the most amount of money in the end? That question changes everything because almost every seller is going to tell you the truth. We want to net the most. Perfect. Now you can say, exactly. That's the real goal. Not lower fees, highest net. That is the frame you want. Then you make it practical. See, the cheapest agent is not usually the one that nets you the most. What matters is pricing, strategy, preparation, marketing, buyer management, and negotiation once the offer comes in. Then say this, if an agent is quick to negotiate against themselves before the home even hits the market, how do you think they're going to negotiate on your price when it comes in? That line lands because it connects commission to your negotiation strength. And here's what I do in the appointment. I do not keep talking about generalities. I point to the process. I walk them through the pricing plan, my recommendations, my launching strategy, my communication process, the showing feedback, and my weekly seller updates, and how I handle the negotiation when an offer comes in. That's where the real value shows up because I provide great service means nothing. But here, and you go through it all with them, here's exactly how I run your listing from day one right through to the negotiation. Then I say, my fee is not based on putting a sign on the lawn. It's based on a strategy, communication, negotiation, and the decision-making required to protect your outcome. That's much stronger than simply saying, I'm worth it. Then you anchor with authority. I've been selling homes since 2002. I've sold 1,000 homes, and sellers rarely regret paying for strong representation. They regret hiring the wrong agent and close cleanly. Now, you might not have 24 years of experience like I do. You may not have sold 1,000 homes, but work with the data you have. And if you're brand new, talk about the data and sales history that your brokerage have. It's not difficult. And if you're curious, personally reach out to me. I would be happy to coach you on this and give you my professional opinion. It's very easy to come up with a nice script to be able to overcome this commission objection aspect, which will likely come up a lot in your listing presentation. I'm very confident in the value I bring. Objection number 3, we want to think about it. This one is dangerous because it sounds harmless, but most of the time, we want to think about it is not the real objection. Usually it means one of 3 things. They're unsure about the price, they're unsure about you, or they want to talk to another agent. So the goal here is not to just politely leave. The goal is to isolate the real issue. So here's exactly how I would do it. Number 1, I would start with this. Of course, this is a big decision. See, that keeps them comfortable. Then I'd go straight into 3 questions. Number 1, is there anything about this pricing strategy you're still unsure about? Pause. My second question, is there anything about the process, timing, or marketing plan that you still have questions about? Pause. And then my third question, is there anything about me or the way I'd handle the sale that gives you hesitation? Pause. Those 3 questions will put the truth out fast. Because if they say, well, we do still think the price should be a bit higher, great. You know exactly what you need to work on. If they say, we have another agent coming tomorrow, great. Now you know where you stand. And if they say, no, everything sounds good, then you can say, okay, if there's no major concerns around price, process, or fit, it sounds like you're not ready to make a final decision right now. Is that fair to say? That keeps the conversation honest. Then say this, why don't we do this? If you feel good about the plan, let's get the paperwork in place and get things moving. If tonight or tomorrow you decide it's not the right fit, that's okay. I don't want indecision slowing this down if you already know the strategy makes sense. That's direct, and that's okay because sellers are not looking for timid. They're looking for someone who can lead. And here's another tactical step too many realtors miss. Before you leave, you need to lock in the follow-up. Not, let me know, not, I'll wait to hear from you. Instead, fair enough. Why don't I follow up with you tomorrow at 6 o'clock after you've had a chance to talk it through? Now you've got an actual next step. And one more move I'd strongly recommend: after the appointment, send a simple one-page summary recommending the list price, launch plan, fee structure, your 21-12 rule, next steps. Because once you leave, confusion grows fast. A simple follow-up summary keeps the logic clear and keeps you top of mind. What agents should actually practice? Well, here's the truth. You don't get good at objection handling by watching a video like this once and hoping it magically shows up when you're under pressure in a listing appointment. You get good by practicing it. And to make this easier for you, I put together a one-page PDF. You can download it for free. Check it out below in the description. There's no opt-in, no email gate, just something practical you can print, review before an appointment, and actually use. Because the goal here is not to sound scripted. The goal is to sound prepared. And here's what I want you to practice. First, number one, write your response to each of these 3 objections in your own words. Not my exact words, your words. Number 2, practice them out loud, not in your head, out loud in front of a mirror. Because what sounds smooth in your head can sound clunky the second you say it in a real living room and an environment in front of a seller. Number 3, role play them with another agent, a spouse, a coach, or just record yourself on the phone. Number 4, bring your one-page objection sheet with you to the listing appointment until it becomes automatic. And number 5, after every appointment, ask yourself, what objection came up? Where did I lose control? What should I have said instead? That is how you actually get sharper. Not by consuming more content, by reviewing your reps. The bigger lesson here, at the end of the day, objections are normal. In fact, a seller with objection is usually more serious than a seller with none. They're engaged, they're thinking, they're trying to get certainty, and your job is to give them that certainty. Not through pressure, not through ego, not through talking nonstop, but through calm, structured questions and leadership. That's what wins listings. And the better you get at handling these 3 moments, the more appointments you'll convert, period. So start here. Get better at handling price objection. Get better at handling commission objections. And get better at isolating what we need to think about it actually means. Because once you stay calm and lead those 3 conversations well, your listing presentation gets a whole lot stronger. And the next skill you need right after this is knowing how to price the home in the first place. So be sure to check out my next video right here, how I do my CMAs. Because the stronger your pricing strategy is, the easier objection handling becomes.